waiting for you to start.
What's up, guys? Antoine here.
Hi, guys. Your girl, Ashley.
So the other day we put up a poll on Instagram just seeing if you guys wanted to find out anything about us, ask us any questions or stuff like that. And we got a few questions, so let's get to it.
Oh, can y'all see that? Just a domino game where I whooped his ass. That's a clear-cut ass whooping, too. All right. Numero uno. How did you guys meet?
So I need to take it back, like all the way back. Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna take it all the way back. So when was this, like? Man, I want to say like maybe about 2008, maybe. I
It
went
was
to
definitely
like
2009.
2009. So about 2009, I went to this little dinner party with some of the homies for the homegirl at the time, and I seen her there. She was with some other nigga though. Like, she was with some other nigga, but you know, I seen her there. I didn't know at the time she was gonna be my wife. You know what I'm saying? But she was looking good though. Fast forward probably like a couple months or something like that. I don't know how long it was. She was having a kickback, and you know, I've been telling the homegirl like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get in where I fit in. You know what I'm talking
They
about?
didn't fit in, no the fucking where.
Yeah, I didn't fit in where I was trying to get in, and we went to this kickback. You know, I remember she had on these. She had on these short shorts. Ooh, Lord, standing on top of them stairs. She's just thicker than a Snicker, boy, I'm telling you. And then fast forward, you know, we had become acquainted that night, but I wasn't really on her. The homies was on her. It's not really my style. Let's see, fast forward, probably like what? I don't know. I don't know how much longer it was until I seen her again, but I went and picked her up with the homegirl. I ain't gonna say where the fuck I picked her up.
You can say whatever your heart feels.
I picked her up from another nigga house, which I was what the fuck? If I wish I would have known that shit.
What you don't know don't matter.
Yeah, I wish I would have
The
known that
fuck?
fucking shit. You would have staged your ass. You'd have called a motherfucking Uber. or something.
Anyway, you was gonna do exactly what your friend asked to pick me up.
No, the fuck I wouldn't have. Anyway, I picked her up from there, and we basically ended up exchanging aims because AIM was popping.
AIM was popping.
AIM was popping at the time.
Bitch, I'm too live.
And we ended up exchanging aims, and I think the rest was history. She kind of almost played herself, though. She almost lost a good one. But I won't get into that unless you want me to get into that.
Anyway, to corroborate his story, mostly what he said is correct. We initially met in May 2009 at a mutual friend's dinner party. I did have a boyfriend at the time, so I was not looking at him or any other guy that was there. We then met each other again, or saw each other again at the kickback. I had a kickback when I was staying in Gardena with my stepmom. And I did have a kickback, and yes, he was there. He was on me. Well, he was silently on me. His friends was more like, hey, what's up, trying to talk to me? But he was just like sitting there looking all shy. And, you know, I approached him at the end like, oh, like, you're not going to speak. You're not going to exchange aims with me. And then fast forward again, it was my Thanksgiving break because I had started school. Go Highlanders. And yes, he picked me up from a person, an unknown person's house. It didn't matter.
It fucking matters.
And took me, he took me back to the mutual friend's car because she and I were going to go out, and we then exchanged aims again because we had kind of lost contact, and we kind of chopped it up. And
yeah, she tried to play me.
We're definitely not going to go into the story. I don't do like this.
She tried to pimp me out. She was in this phase She was in this phase when she
I
thought
thought I was going to
she
become a
thought she was a
player.
player.
I agree. I
She
thought I
tried-
was going to
she
become
tried
a
to pit- She tried
player.
to pit me
I
out for
thought I
fucking-
was going to be.
for fucking school supplies.
I don't remember that. He keeps saying that. I don't remember that. I'm not. I don't recall.
Buy her some
He
fucking
keeps saying
school
that. Asking him to
supplies.
buy me school supplies. I don't recall, but he is correct. Like initially, right before our relationship started, I did think I was about to be in this little player pimp, whatever status. Obviously, that changed rapidly when we got together, and here we are, all these years later. So, no player for AJ.
Yeah. Game over.
Guess we can just go to number
Game fucking over. Next question.
2. How do you guys get through the rough times?
I would say communication. For me, I'm a person who probably didn't talk as much in the beginning. I would let things linger on. But I have learned that it's always best to not go to sleep mad.
Very true.
That's number one. 2, just talk it out. We don't really have too many rough times because I think we got a good understanding on fucking each other and life in general. So we don't have too many rough times. But if there is something that I do, most of the time I'm always doing something to irritate her. We end up talking it out.
I'm also easily irritable.
Yeah, you
So
fucking
that's
are.
different.
So
One, I guess what rough times are would have to be defined by that particular person or those persons, because what may be rough to one couple or one individual may not be rough to us. We have had rough times, but our rough times have not been, you cheated on me. Oh, I cheated on you. I got somebody pregnant. Oh, I got a secret boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, our rough times have been his father passed away, my mom passed away, my granny passed away, like things like that. So I guess what your rough times are kind of denote how you're going to get through them. And I would say that going through the motions. Obviously, when we were younger and when we were first together, we would argue. We would, like he said, he was very quiet or he was just introverted. I'm very extroverted, so we clashed a lot in that sense. But as the time passed by, we got to know and understand each other better and how to communicate with one another. Since being in our marriage, we really haven't had any rough times.
other than that time when I choked your ass out on Christmas Eve and you kicked me out the house.
Yeah. Okay, he didn't choke me out. Let's be clear. I don't do
Choked-
domestic
choked her
violence.
out.
He didn't choke me
She
out.
was getting beside herself.
We wasn't married. We wasn't married yet.
We was married.
That was
We
our
was married. I got that car after we got married. I remember hopping in the Challenger and fucking leaving. We was married. We had just got married.
He didn't choke me out. He pushed me away from him because I was trying to keep him blocked in the door, and he made a kind of to the throat thrust motion, and then I tried to kill him.
She kicked me out.
I tried to choke him
For a
out,
couple
actually. And then I kicked him out. And then I was very sad when he left. I was crying. Anyway,
Next question.
I didn't get to finish what I was saying. I think you go through your emotions. If you gotta argue it out or talk it out, you do that. If you have to cry it out, you do that. If you have to pray it out, you do that. Like, now I think I would be able to give him his time to get himself together. We could talk, pray, and then move on. But definitely don't go to bed mad, like he said, because you don't know if you're going to wake up the next day. How do you keep it interesting? So by it, do you mean it or do you mean it? It. It. I don't know what you meant. Whoever asked that question. How do you keep it interesting? I'm thinking.
I about to say, I don't know. I just be me. I mean, people say I'm a funny guy, so,
Debatable.
I just be me. We've been together for what? Damn near 10 years
It depends
now.
on who you ask.
Damn near 10 years
8
now.
years.
So,
8 years.
I must be doing something right.
I think, and Antoine still has to work on this, but I think sporadic, spontaneous trips or getaways, or just sometimes I'm force myself to stay up at night so that when he gets home, I'm like hubba. Or vacations have been a really great thing. Taking vacations whenever we can, when we have the time and the space to do so. Lingerie, if you've been in like that way, lingerie is a very good, or just some very nice panties, because personally, they don't really seem to stay on that long. So invest in some nice panties if you don't want to spend a lot of money on some lingerie, or if you're into like sex toys and things like that. I don't know what y'all freak levels be. I definitely think we on the lower side, and we done some stuff, but the type of stuff y'all do, we didn't do that stuff. But being yourself, I guess. He's funny. I think I'm funnier. Like, I'm naturally funny. You're like, tell a joke funny.
I don't tell jokes. I don't even have no jokes.
You can't bust out a joke right now?
No.
You don't got a knock joke?
No, I don't. I tried to think of one. I don't even have one.
You ready for the next question? Great.
Yeah.
Pros of living in a large city?
The pros of living in a large city, there's multiple things to do. That's about it, because the rest is fucking cons. Traffic, gas is high, everything is high, traffic. People, I hate people.
That's not y'all though.
Yeah, not y'all, but you know what
it's
I, you know
because
what I mean
Los Angeles is becoming like that city, or I mean, it's been that city, but it's like this is the place to be. So it's not the same as 5-10 years ago. Like, there's billions of people here. I know I'm probably exaggerating, but there's millions of people that do live in Los Angeles. Like he said, pros of living in a big city: you can drive an hour in any direction and you're somewhere new, experiencing something different. And that's really cool, because I try to tell people all the time, like, a vacation doesn't have to be out the country overseas. A vacation can be in a city or a county that you've never been. A vacation can be going up north to the snow right now, or whatever. So that's cool. There are a lot of people, so there's a lot of opportunity out here, or more opportunity than it would be in a smaller place. I don't know. What else? What are the pros? Or a lot of people ain't making it out here. I don't know how we're still surviving, but we are.
It's not that many pros. Whoever asked that must be in a small city.
Yeah, they're in Alabama. So wherever they're at in Alabama, they said it's a small place, and they're thinking about branching out. Really, it's not a more of a. I don't feel like it's a relationship thing. That's a more of a like opportunity, business, life goal situation. Like,
bank account can branch out too.
That is very true. If you don't know where you're going, it costs some moolah to live up out here, for real. How did you know you wanted to marry?
Well,
He didn't know.
I always knew.
He didn't know.
I always knew I wanted to marry this woman.
I
just
text
didn't
him.
know- I just didn't know when. Even before we had that talk, I knew I wanted to marry you. I just didn't know when. If it was up to me, I would stretch it out as long as possible. But, when we did have a conversation, it was like a mutual understanding. We had been together for a long ass time anyway, so we was damn near married as it was. We just didn't have no paperwork with it, so I always knew, you know, she was the one for me.
I don't want to say that I always knew I wanted to marry, but I knew that it would eventually lead to marriage. And after a certain amount of time together, and then particularly when I was on my verge of about to be 25 to 26, I was like, okay, we not engaged. We not, what, something gotta pop. Something ain't popping and something gotta pop. And so we had a text message conversation. It came to a mutual agreement, understanding, and then we were engaged, and then he picked our wedding date, which was our current anniversary, and then we got married. I did always know he was the one, for whatever that's worth. When he broke up with me all these years ago and broke my itty bitty teeny tiny heart, I was still very hopeful. And I don't know. I just knew. I was like, I know that we will get back together. Like, something will bring us back together. I did know that.
I didn't know that.
And it's okay, but I knew that. I would say the longer we were apart, I started to think like, damn, maybe I was just wrong. Maybe I was tripping. Maybe I was just sprung. But then eventually we did get back together. Which is why we always have the debate of how long we've been together. We have been together for 8 years because
10.
I go from the day that we got back in a relationship, not all the way from the beginning, but in totality, yes, it's been almost 10 years. So you always knew you wanted to marry me, babe?
After a while, yeah, you know, after I got out my hood rat stages, you know.
But your hood rat wasn't even hood rat. Like,
you don't know what it was. You know what I tell you. Next question.
Oh, what the fuck that mean?
Next question.
No. Let's harp on this a little longer.
No, man, next question.
So you lied about what you did
next
when we were single,
bro. Like, next question, man. Come on now. Let's not get into this, man.
We'll finish. Do you guys want kids?
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
You're so fake. You're sometimes.
Yeah, these days it's sometimes, honestly. But yeah, I mean, if it happened, if I'm blessed to have a child, then of course I'm gonna love it dearly to death. But I'm enjoying my life right now. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say about that one.
For the shit, I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying our marriage and our time together with the cat, of course, because you guys know or might know or you find it out, we have a cat. Sometimes I want kids, sometimes I don't. I always wanted to have children. It's not like a fantasy that I had like some girls have when they're younger, but when we got together we kind of discussed kids, and so just knowing that he would potentially want some in the future was always something that I look forward to. I think he would be an excellent father. But this world is trash and ass and everything else. And I'm like, why do I want to bring a innocent life into this fucking downward spiral ass world? Like, I feel like I would be doing an injustice to my children if I actually had them. So stay tuned. How's the married life?
I mean, what, like compared to being not married or being like single? I'ma just, I mean, because I mean, I've been not married for 10 years in my eyes. So the difference between that and
what you mean you've been not married for 10 years?
Well, I'm okay. I should say what, like 6 years then. You know what the hell I'm saying. You
talking about during the course of our relationship.
Yeah,
we've been married
we're only
for 3
married
years.
for a couple years now.
3 years is more.
3 years. So before that, I always felt like we was married anyway, so it wasn't really.
I didn't.
Once we got all the paperwork done and had the ceremony, ain't nothing changed. We've been doing the same thing.
You don't think something's changed from being single and engaged? I mean,
no, I'm talking about from being in a relationship in general, from being just girlfriend and boyfriend to being married.
Are you talking about tangible change? Are you
Meaning
talking
what?
about change? Like, okay, tangible, something you can feel. So, tangible is something physical. So you don't feel like emotionally anything's changed? You don't feel like you're a better person or our relationship is deeper or anything like
The
that?
relationship is deeper, but I'm probably talking about more tangible than anything. The relationship is deeper. We're definitely more connected and stuff like that. But like besides that, I don't think
The core of our relationship is the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean,
Guess I'll find out it first fucking shit on YouTube. I guess we find out stuff at the same time.
I mean, I told you. I already told you this.
Married
already.
life has
Like,
been
what?
pretty great. Minus taxes. We have tax problems. So as you all know, or if you don't know, in certain states, being married has a benefit. When you are filing your taxes, California is one of those states, except for your president changed tax laws drastically during his presidency. And so a lot of the tax breaks that we would have received, we didn't, or they just didn't mean shit. And we ended up owing $2,600 this past tax year, which we are still paying on. And we are likely going to owe next year. It probably won't be the same amount, but I imagine it will be somewhere between 18 to 2,000. That has not been fun. It's nothing like working and already spending and giving so much for somebody to put their hand out and be like, you actually owe us more. And then especially when you have like Amazon and all these other companies that make quadrillion, billion, gazillions and then have to pay shit of federal taxes. It's quite fucked up. That's been a challenge. That has not pitted us against one another, thank God, because I know finances seem to be like a big downfall for newlyweds. But married life has been good. I've been enjoying it. My skin look good. I know y'all see. If y'all see some bumps, it's because it's supposed to be eczema. I need a second opinion. But I'm flourishing. I'm doing good out here. Hair looking good.
Yeah, you got a couple little inches, don't you? Why you got another inch on you? Yeah, you touching your spinal.
I got a little hang time. You ain't got nothing to do with that.
Please.
Last.
I'm responsible for everything great in your life.
What are your plans for the next vacation? I don't know, but the next vacation is going to be for my 30th birthday, so stay tuned, 2021. I do not plan on taking a vacation next year, meaning going anywhere. And so I don't know, it's going to be for my birthday. I would like to be somewhere like Santorini, Greece, or Tahiti, or, somewhere. But I do have to acknowledge that Antoine will be just preparing to come off of his program. And he might not have the funds to fund for me. So
For a fucking $5,000 to $10,000 trip. Let's get it. Let's get it understood. I have somewhere in mind, like she said, we've already talked about not going anywhere next year since we just came back from Aruba.
yeah.
But I do have somewhere in mind for her 30th birthday, so I got to get all this stuff situated. And the person who asked that question, I'll tell you about it on Instagram.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Because I know who you are.
Guess I won't get to know until my birthday.
You might not ever know if it don't happen. Anyway, is that it? Is that the last
That
question?
was all. Do you have any questions for me?
Can you go buy some alcohol?
I'll pay for it.
So I gotta go get it.
Yep.
You gonna pay for it for real?
Well, let's discuss budgeting. Budget master. So let's see. Y'all can't see that. Don't worry about
So I think that's the end. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you watch this whole video, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you
Like,
for
comment,
commenting.
subscribe,
And
share,
if you share, that'll be awesome too.
save.
I don't know if you can save these videos. Anyway,
Yes, you can.
thank you guys again. Anything you want to say?
Follow us at Growing Pains with the Gains. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. That's it.
That's it.
Show Diablo. Fine.
Send us out.
Love.
Goodbye,
Peace,
America.
and
You gotta say something. Fucking Soul Train, really? Peace out, y'all. Lord have mercy, Jesus.